Hey, I'm Robinson from SoundPure, and in this video I'm going to give you some tips to get you started on playing slide guitar. It's one of my favorite ways to approach the instrument. First thing you got to do is make sure that you have the strings high enough off the fretboard. I typically have my guitar set up for slide, but in lieu of having a guitar tech on hand, one of the things I'll do is just tune it to open E first off. So that would be E, B, E, G sharp, B, E. So this will kind of, the two top strings, the 1 and the 2, are still B and E, and we got the low E down here. But this comes up from an A to a B, D goes up from a D to an E, and then G goes up a half step to G sharp, and that's coming from standard. So this will kind of raise the strings up, give you an open major chord, which is good for playing slide, and yeah, get you started. So let's talk about how you hold the slide first off. People have different thoughts on which finger is most ideal. I've seen some people do it on their middle, some on their ring, some on their pinky. I tend to do it on my pinky, although I will confess that there are advantages to having it on the other fingers. One of the reasons why I like putting it on my pinky is because I can kind of cup the slide like this, kind of incorporate my whole hand. I have this little paw action thing going on. And then also this first finger here will drag behind the slide, muting the strings behind it, dampening behind them, I should say. So not only do you get control, the whole hand kind of in this almost triangle with the fingers, but this finger is dragging along behind the slide and sort of just adding an element of clarity to the notes too. So what can we do? Where should we play? One of my favorite things to do, initially start doing sort of a minor pentatonic blues thing, and you can kind of think of that in terms of, I'm just working between the 3rd and the 5th fret here. And again, you're going to want to be on the fret when you're playing the slide. We're used to trying to be right in the middle to get the clearest tone. It's the opposite with slide. You're going to be on the fret, right on top of it. Anything else will give you a microtone, which you definitely want to incorporate because you can with the slide. Get that sort of gradual shift into the pitch you want. Then another thing that sort of is counterintuitive with the slide is that you're going to want to apply very little pressure with your hand. Normally when you're fretting, you're going to want to apply a lot of pressure, bear down to get the clear note. With slide, it's the opposite. Less pressure, the clearer the note. But yeah, for this bluesy kind of stuff, just try out some riffs in between the 3rd and the 5th fret, this sort of pentatonic thing. You have a lot of redundancies too in the way this is tuning. It's basically, 1s, 5s, and you got your 3rd on the 3rd string. So it's really easy to keep track of what you're doing and sort of pull the same riffs off in different octaves. If you want more of a major sound, my advice, work between the 2nd and the 4th fret. It's a bluesy sound. 3rd and 5th. A little more major folky sound. 2nd and 4th. And then as far as your 1-4-5 minor 6 paradigm that a lot of musicians like to work in, myself included, most of my songs are 1-4-5 minor 6. You got your 1 chord here, totally open. Got your 4 chord here on the 5th fret. 5 chord here on the 7th fret. And if you want to do your minor 6, there's a couple different ways I like to pull it off. I either go down here and I put my middle finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and my ring finger on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. Or I'll come up here to the 9th fret and I will take my first finger, and this is kind of a hard thing to cultivate, take some practice, and fret the 3rd string behind the slide. That's how you get your minor 6. Got the tonic up there again, 12. So you can play a lot of songs that way, other things I like to do in this tuning, which, you know, can be in different keys, you know, same like relative tuning where basically 1s and 5s and the third on the third string. I like to call it Vastapol. You know, Siege of Sebastopol was an old song written in like open D. You can put it in open E. But basically, Vastapol to me is any open major tuning where it's like 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. This is an E in this case. Anyway, so these chords, this like really nice, it would be like a add 9 with an E in the bass. And what you do is middle finger, 5th string, 2nd fret, first finger, 3rd string, 1st fret, and this is movable. Then contract it, so it's all going to be in the same fret on the 5th string. So now both fingers are, in the 5th fret, now both fingers are on the 5th fret. All the way back up here. Where you got your E again. A lot of beautiful folk music has been written in open major tunings using these chord shapes. Cool. So I hope that wasn't too complex or technical or fast, but that's what I got time for today. I'd like to talk to you more about it if you want to get me on the horn, and we'll figure out what the right instrument is, what the right tuning is, because there are other tunings to play slide in. Figure out what the right slide is. There's a lot of considerations, but we're here to help you express yourself and find you the right guitar. So give us a call. We have a Try Before You Buy program. We have financing. And we have a pro studio here in lovely Durham, North Carolina, and I got a showroom adjacent to it. So come give us a visit. Thanks for watching. I'm Robinson.